damage that's out there. Zach, tell us what you're looking at here.
Guys, this is some of the worst damage we've seen. Now, I will say, you know, working from Susie Q's, again, on North 2nd Street, just north of downtown Rogers, we came into downtown. It looked like, from what I could see, going through, you know, downtown Rogers, there was a lot of tree debris, and there was debris from these storms that had been picked up and thrown around, but I didn't see structure damage. Now, as soon as you start to get south of downtown again, and we came down Walton, we were in and out of more substantial damage. There was a business, I think it's called All Things Kindred. It's right there, right before you come into downtown Rogers on Walnut. That was a total loss. And then as we came further down, we got to 13th Street in Walnut here. This is some of the worst damage we've seen. A lot of tree damage around. Even parts of Walnut right now are closed. You have to kind of come into the parking lot. That's why there's so much traffic right here through this parking lot, is because there's multiple trees and power lines down. And so police officials have blocked off the road, and so people are kind of cutting in and out. We even had one guy just stop and ask, I'm trying to get to 49. He had somewhere he really was trying to get to help some folks out, and he just couldn't even get there. And he's like, will Walnut get me there? And a bunch of people coming together try to give him directions of a route that they knew could get him to 49, but it's hard to get around. Not just Rogers, but all of Benton County. It's hard to get around this morning. And again, this is some of the worst damage that we've seen. You can see this goes back. I mean, you're talking about the entire building, a loss here. The whole front wall knocked down, the roof caved in, you've got water coming out. There's a lot of water in the parking lot here. You can tell that there's other areas where some of the water lines, the water mains have busted, and water is just flowing through the parking lot. I can see damage every way I turn here. All these buildings impacted, some of them more than others. Again, this building completely knocked down, but this one right here behind, if we can turn, it's got some roof damage, but it's still standing. And that's what you get. That's what you get with these tornadoes. This one's tore down. This one's still standing. That one looks better than all the other buildings around here. The Federal Credit Union. And sometimes it's hit or miss. I will say, going back to the northeast, I think you can tell that the tornado was coming down Walnut, and then continued. Instead of going straight down Walnut and taking a direct hit with downtown Rogers, it starts to cut through the neighborhoods over here. It's very hard to get back in there. We still haven't found a way in. You have to walk in with the amount of tree damage and the amount of power lines that are down in those neighborhoods. But you can see this here. I mean, this is a total loss. The owner of this building is just right over here, and we were talking to him for a little bit, and he's shaken up, not in a place where ready to talk, and we understand that. He's just here making sure that nobody gets hurt, and that make sure nothing else happens. Kind of keep a watch on what's going on. Vehicles are overturned. Can we get a shot of this, Josh, over here? One of the vehicles overturned right here, just on its side, and that shows you the winds. The winds were coming in all different directions. We've got branches down going that way. The gas station over there's got debris going all different directions. Vehicle turned over in this parking lot. So the winds came and flipped it towards us, but then you had the tornado come, and then you had the winds going back to the west and flipped that vehicle over. I mean, we know we had a tornado. We know we had damaging winds, but this is a clear sign of a tornado coming through a very populated area, and it happened at night. I mean, how scary is that? And it didn't just happen in the evening or the early morning hours. I mean, it was in the dead of night. And I said it earlier, and I'll continue to say it. From what we can see, and all of our crews are seeing, this damage is like this for a long ways, and it's going to take a lot of folks really coming together and scattering out. We're getting reports of just go east, further east of Rogers, and there's neighborhoods where folks are trapped. We've had people stop and say, there's veterans in these neighborhoods, there's elderly in these neighborhoods, they need help. And that's everywhere. That's what we're hearing everywhere. But yeah, this is Castle Rental. We're on Walnut, just west of downtown Rogers, and this is one of the worst structures that we've seen damaged here this morning. Just catastrophic, but unfortunately we're seeing a lot of other buildings like this.
Zach, I know you go out and you and Scott both, and for that matter, a lot of meteorologists are out as well. That when you go out and see these things and you're looking at this, can you tell right away the strength of a system or a tornado that has come through?
Yeah, and I'll start off by saying, you know, the National Weather Service survey teams that go out, I mean, they're trained. And when they go out, they're looking for how the building was built, how old is the building, because you got to determine, is this a brand new with new regulations, new codes? Is this a brand new built building, a home, structure, whatever is it? Was it a metal building? Is it a brick building? Because that's all going to play into it. If you've got a brick building and there's nothing left on the foundation and it was built in the last couple of years, you know you've got a pretty strong storm. This is an older office building here, but looking at it, this isn't going to be EF0. I can't say for certain, and the team will be out here. And again, they're well trained on how to look at these buildings and then also use radar as the storm was passing over, put all that information together and come up with the rating. But yes, you can come out here and you can tell that I think we have at least EF2 damage, and maybe not the whole way. These storms, they strengthen, they weaken, they're up, they're down, but easily EF1 to EF2 damage. I see a lot of that, possibly some EF3 damage mixed in. And the National Weather Service has such a path to survey here. Some of our stronger tornadoes that have hit our neighboring states or our own state at times, those long paths, those long track tornadoes, they pulse up and down. So you can have a tornado on the ground for 10, 15, 20 miles, and it can go from EF1 to EF2, back to EF1, up to EF3, back down to EF1. So I think we've seen some spots of EF2, maybe a little bit greater than that.
All right, Zach, thanks.